Hello everyone. In this video, let us discuss few basic flowchart examples. Right? In the previous lecture, we have discussed the definition for flowchart and what are the symbols we are going to use to draw the flowchart. Those things we have discussed in the previous lecture. In this lecture, let me show you some of the simple programs for which I have developed the flowchart, and I'll show you which tool I have used to draw these flowcharts. Let us start this lecture. This is the first example I have taken. So the problem is here I need to develop a flowchart to calculate simple interest. As we all know that for the beginners who are going to start the coding, we used to give this particular program, simple interest calculation, right? So the logic behind this simple interest calculation is I need to get three things from the user. So the formula for simple interest is principal into number of months or number of years into rate of interest, right? So these are the three terms I have kept over here, which is P into N into R divided by 100. So if I do this calculation, I can obtain the interest which I need to pay, right? So for this, we need to identify first for calculating the simple interest, how many number of inputs and how many number of outputs we will be getting from this program, right? So the number of inputs which I should give is 3. Why? Because the 3 values are involved in the formula, simple interest calculation formula, right? And the number of outputs I am going to obtain from this program is only 1. So the output will be the simple interest, right? So these are the things we need to identify first before starting any type of program. So here first I need to get the input. So here the input and the output are represented using the parallelogram box or input output symbol. And the simple calculation which is involved in this program will be represented using action or process box. And I have used the start and stop symbol, right? So these things we have discussed in the previous lecture itself, how I have chosen all these symbols, right? So let us draw this in the flowchart tool now. Okay. So as I said you, all the flowcharts I have drawn using the YED tool, right? So this YED tool, this is one of the tool using which we can draw the flowchart. Like this, many different tools are available. So whichever is comfortable for you, you can choose that. Okay, so here I have different options, but now I am going to draw the flowchart. So I have to select that flowchart palette, right? So this particular area is called as canvas, and here I have a palette and I have properties and diagrams. So first let me start the start box, right? So this is simply a GUI. So we can drag and drop these symbols whichever required for us. So if we want, we can enlarge it, and if I double click, I can give the instructions inside this, right? So if I want to increase the font size of this, then select that particular label, go to properties. Here we have the text styling, right? So the label properties. So here I can select any type of font, and presently by default it is Arial. So I'm leaving as it is, and I'm increasing the font size, right? So if I want, I can do anything like properties. Here, see, I can go for its alignment also, right? Bold, italic, underline. So all the basic things related with the text are available here, right? And then I need to go for the next step. So the next step is I need to get the input from the user, right? So here I have to give start. Okay. So the next step is I need to get the input from the user. As we all know that to get the input we need to go for the data box, right? Enlarge it. To give the content, I'm using double click. So I need to get the input colon. So here I need to give the variables, right? Any variable we can give. So just like the coding part, we need to initialize the variables, right? So the same thing we are doing here, but instead of variable initialization, in this box I need to get only the inputs which is given to this particular process, right? So my input is principal, number and rate of interest. So these are the three inputs I will be having for this particular program. Next, I need to increase the font size since it is very small. Okay. So after this process, I need to go for the calculation, right? So for that, I need to go for process box. So drag the process box, drop it over here, double click, do simple interest equals to P into N into, or this is the formula, divided by 100, right? Now select it, again increase the font size. Okay. So the next thing which I need to do is, we finished the calculation part. Now I need to display the output, right? So the output for this program will be the simple interest, right? So for that I am selecting the data box with which I need to display the output, right? So display simple interest. Select it, increase the font size. Okay. So remember here I have completed almost everything, right? So I need to terminate this flowchart. So I am selecting the start box. So for doing that stop, either I can go for the palette, I can select the stop symbol, or instead of that, I can select this same start box itself. I can make a copy and I can paste it, right? So instead of that, let me go and keep the stop box. I need to increase the font size, right? So now I need to connect all these nodes, right? As we discussed, arrow is used to connect, or arrow is used to represent the flow of the diagram or the sequence of the steps, right? So for that I need to take the arrow from the middle and drop it over here. Adjust it. Now the arrow is straight, right? So the flow or the sequence of the steps can be obtained by using this arrow representation, right? So now it is neat. Now we can do another thing. So here I have used different colors to represent the input as well as the process box and the start and stop box, right? Similarly, we can give any colors. For that I need to go for properties. We need to select the node for which I am going to do all these changes. So I want my start and stop box to be in the same manner, right? To be in the same format. So okay, let me first select it. The node color, show color palette. Let me take some light colors like orange. Similarly, I think I am correct, right? Okay. So these are the two colors I have selected for start and stop symbol, right? Next I need to go for input and output, right? Go here. Let me select the light blue colors, right? Okay. Next I have the process box. Let me give green color for this, right? So similarly, we can go for the labels which is present inside this and the edge color, right? Similarly, we can go for arrows also. Let us select all the arrows by pressing Ctrl. Let us increase the arrow size to 1.5 and Okay, properties. So the strokes we can represent, this is the source stroke, this is the destination stroke, and this is the middle line. So different types of lines are available, anything we can select, right? And then we may go for the edge colors. So the edge colors we can select anything. Maybe let us select this. So the arrow color is this. Source and target arrow. Okay. Right? So we can increase the size of this arrow also, thickness of the arrow and colors of the arrows, anything we can change it, right? And when we want to take this particular flowchart, we can go here, go for export, either you can go for print or you can go for save. So if you save, it will be saved in different formats, in GraphML file format, right? But instead of that, if I go for export, then I can select any 3 types of formats which is available over here. So I can give export, then this particular flowchart can be used and we can keep it as an image in any Word document or PPTs, right? This is how I have drawn the flowchart for simple interest. Okay, so next we have flowchart. Here I have drawn for another problem. So the problem is whether a given number is even or odd. Again, here we need to think how many number of inputs required for this and what will be the output, right? So here I am going to check the number, only one number I am going to check whether that particular number is an even number or an odd number, right? So for that I need only one input. So I am getting the input from the user. So I am taking the variable as num, right? Next I need to check whether that particular number mod 2, if it is double equals to 0, right? So if the number is an even number, then this condition will become true, right? So I'm keeping it inside the decision box. If the condition is true, it will display number is even. Otherwise, it will display the number is an odd number, right? This is the logic behind this program. So let us draw the flowchart for this one. So I'm going for a new blank document, right? So here I need to take the start, next I need to get the input from the user. So the input for this program is only one input num, right? So next I need to go for the decision box. So I'm using the if loop. If number mod 2 double equals to 0. This is the condition for this, right? So next we need to go for the data box. So if the condition is true, I have to display number is even, right? So here I can click it, Control C and paste it over here. So that whenever we need the same box, directly we can copy paste it here. Otherwise the number is an odd number, right? Go for the stop box. Right? So let us connect all this. right? So this is how I have joined, and now I need to give the labels above this condition, right? If the condition is true, so I need to represent this is the true condition. So if I double click, you can see the label over this edge. Again, double click this side, and this is the false condition, right? So if I want, I can move it above this line also, right? So similarly, these labels also can be changed with its properties. So here we can increase the font size or the label color. Anything can be changed using the properties, right? So I think this flowchart diagram is clear, right? Okay. So let us go for the next one. So the third example is develop a flowchart to print all the numbers which are multiple of 3 up to 100, right? So here my task is I need to start printing numbers from 3 to 100. That too, all the numbers which are multiple of 3 need to be printed. So this is the task over here, right? So for that I am initializing a number, that variable which is equals to 3. Since I am going to start from 3, I am initializing it to 3, right? So here I need to go for the iterative control, right? So here I have to go for the while statement. We know that if it is the if statement, the statement will be executed only once, right? When we want the same statement to be iterated for multiple times, either we need to go for the for loop or we used to go for the while loop, right? So for this problem, it is better to go with the while loop. So the condition is while the number is less than or equals to 100, right? So up to this condition, we are going to iterate the statement again and again. If it is true, we need to display the number. After displaying the number, I have to increment the number to 3, right? So again, it will go back to the loop condition statement again, right? When the condition becomes false, it will come to stop. So this is the logic of this program. Okay, so let us draw this in Wired tool. Okay, let me go for the palette. Going for start. Okay, so next I need to get the input. As we know that in this case only one variable we are going to initialize, that is the input for this program. Input n equals to 3. Next we have to go for the while loop condition. So the condition is while n less than or equals to 100, right? This is the condition. Okay, so next I need to go for output. If the condition is true, it has to display that particular number. Display n. Next we have another process here, process or action. So the action is increment operation. I need to increment n equals to n plus 3, right? And we need to go for the stop box. Okay, so let us connect all these things. Okay, I think this is okay now. Okay, so here from the action box, the loop has to go back, right? Okay, I think now it is perfect. So after this condition, if the condition is true, it has to print that number, and then it has to go for the next step, right? If the condition is false, the process will stop here. So using this logic, we can print all the numbers which are multiple of 3 up to 100, right? So here you can see the label is in the vertical position, right? So here along edge, right? So let me change it to across edge. So now you can change the direction of the label has been changed, right? So for this also we can increase the arrow size, we can change the color of the arrow, only the arrow representation we can change, and similarly the note color we can change, font type, font color, everything can be changed here, right? Okay. I hope everyone understood how to draw the flowcharts using one flowchart tool, right? So here in all the diagrams I have used Y8 tool to draw the flowchart. This is one of the tool which is used to draw the flowchart like this. Many tools are available, you can go with anyone, right? So draw the flowchart there and export it and paste it inside the Word document or the PPT, wherever it is required. Just like an image, you can paste it, right? Okay, thank you.